So I've been using iOS 14 for a little while now, so in this video I want to show you the new home screen features, how to set up your own home screen, and then also talk about my thoughts on iOS 14 and where I feel like Apple fell a little bit short and the improvements that I'm hoping for in the future. I'm also going to have videos on the new iPhones when they come out, so if you end up watching this video and you enjoy it, and you're into technology, you should totally subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss the videos about the iPhones and other consumer tech. Okay, let's dive right in. Okay, so the main things that are new with iOS, and I'm putting new in quotation marks because they've been available on Android for a very long time, but they're finally making their way to iOS, are the app library, widgets, and kind of custom icons. Let's start with the app library. So this year, unlike past years, you don't need to have every single app you have downloaded displayed on your phone. And you can actually hide them in two different ways. The first way is just by keeping them in the app library. So this is like the equivalent to the app drawer on Android. And the way you access it is by going to the last page of all of your home screens. And when you're there, you'll see that it has all of your applications and it's actually really well done. The organization feels really intentional and nice. But I don't like that it's like the last page. Like it's kind of annoying that you have to swipe through all of your pages in order to access it. On Android, you can just swipe up, which I know isn't really feasible with the Apple operating system and the swipe gestures. But I would love to see an implementation or an improvement in the future that makes it easier to access the app library. So by default, when you download an application, it will go on one of your home pages, but you can easily just move it to the app library by just holding down and hitting remove app and then hitting move to app library. And that will mean that your home screen will be a lot less cluttered and only have your essential applications. So that's the first way to do it. The second way to do it is by just hiding a home page. So this again is something that we've seen on Android before, but it's finally making its way to iOS. And it basically means that you can disable a page, but still have the page at the ready. So in order to do this, you get into the edit mode again, and then you hit the dots at the bottom, and that will bring up all of your home screen pages. And what this allows you to do is turn certain pages so they're on and turn other ones so they're deactivated, but they can be reactivated anytime. So I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of use cases for this. The first one that I thought of was like, as a student, if you have a bunch of school-based applications, over the summer months, you can turn it off so you don't need to think about school. And then when the school year starts, you can put that page back on. But I'm sure that there's going to be a multitude of use cases for multiple people. If you have a completely different use case, I would actually love to know. So let me know in a comment. But I'm really happy to see that it's finally here. And obviously we're making some jokes about like Android having it first. But I actually want to say, like, yeah, Android did have this first, and we got to give Android props. It's obviously a lot more customizable than iOS, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But Apple is very intentional with what features they include on iPhone, and when they do include it, they make it really work well in the iOS software. So all of the features that I've mentioned so far, and that I'm going to mention, fit really well and feel cohesive. It doesn't feel like a ripped-off version of Android. It feels like they've made it their own on iOS. All right, let's talk widgets. So Apple definitely experimented with the idea of widgets when they started including them in the swipe down and the control center. But now with iOS 14, you're able to include them on your home pages. And this opens up multiple doors and you can now do a bunch of different things and it's a lot more customizable, both aesthetically, but also for like the actual function of the phone. It definitely adds some functionality to it. So let's talk about first how you're actually going to add a widget. So you go to edit homepage and then you hit the plus in the top left and all of your widgets will show up. So one of the Apple ones that I think is really cool is something called Smart Stack, and it's cool because it will cycle through different important things like music, photos, calendar, etc., depending on the time of day. That actually feels pretty cool, but I downloaded a separate calendar widget because I don't actually use Apple Calendar, but if you do use Apple Calendar, that's a pretty cool widget to have. The other widget I have on the screen is a widget for quotes. So I'm kind of into motivational quotes, and this application allows you to pick different categories. So you could pick like self-love, or you can do what I did, which was productivity. And then throughout the day, it will cycle through different quotes from famous people. And it's kind of just cool. Like you pop up in your phone, maybe you're like thinking about going to Instagram, and then it tells you, get back to work. And maybe you're incentivized to get back to work. So this is a cool widget. And then underneath that, the last widget I have on like this widget page is the podcast widget. So it allows me to quickly hop back into an episode and also see what episodes I have on the horizon. So if you're really into podcasts like I am, you'll definitely enjoy this widget. And if you're really into podcasts, you should totally check out my podcast if you're interested in a weekly conversation around technology. So I'll definitely leave a link to my podcast below alongside the links to the widgets that I'm mentioning in this video in case you want to check any of them out. In terms of widgets, there is one minor thing that I would like to change, and it's having the text underneath the widget. I feel like it kind of like ruins the vibe of the widget. So I would love an option to be able to turn off the text, but obviously that's not here yet. On my second page, I'm definitely more concentrated on apps, but I do have a widget at the top which shows me the time, the date, and my battery percentage. So it's kind of like a quick look indicator to see what's going on. And I feel like a lot of these use cases and like functionality are going to become more and more clear as more and more developers invest in making good widgets, because obviously Android has a head start with this, so a lot of their widgets are really well thought out and there's a ton of options. on iOS, since it's like a brand new feature for the home screen, the developers haven't necessarily put like a ton of blood, sweat, and tears into it yet. So as we see more developers come up with innovative things, it will become more and more useful. I think it'd be sick if we had a Spotify one where you could basically see what song you're listening to and also control and like switch a track. Another one that I would really like is Google Calendar. I don't use Apple Calendar, so having a widget for Google Calendar similar to the one they have on Android would just be super simple and something that I would look forward to seeing. And I think that that is definitely feasible since the App Store is such like a massive platform and so many people have iPhone devices. It feels really advantageous to create a widget because you're more likely to have someone click on it. Like if you have more screen real estate, maybe I'll see it and then I'll actually click on the application and get sucked in. So I feel like a lot of developers are really going to go full steam ahead and create great widgets. Even right now though, there are already like 6 to 10 really solid widgets that definitely add some functionality to the device. And how much functionality you get and what your phone looks like definitely just comes down to how much time you put into it. There are tons of people spending hours making their phone look aesthetic, and that kind of brings us into the icons. So you've probably seen a bunch of people have like really wacky icon setups, whether it be like looking like the first iPhone or just looking like completely out of the ordinary and different, like hand-drawn icons. In iOS 14, you can actually kind of get custom icons, and I'm saying kind of because there's an asterisk and I'll get to it. But in order to do this, you need an application by Apple called Shortcuts, and we're going to be using that to assist in this process. But we're kind of just like skimming the surface of how good Shortcuts is. Like it's such a well-done application and there are so many capabilities. People have created incredible shortcuts, sometimes even life-saving. So once you download Shortcuts, definitely like go into it and see what else you can do. But we're just gonna hit like service level for the applications. So once you have it downloaded, you're gonna open it and hit the plus icon in the top right. Then you're gonna wanna hit add action and click scripting. Once you're here, you're gonna click open app and then hit choose and just pick the application that you wanna redesign the logo for. So let's say I pick Instagram. Once I have Instagram up here, I'm gonna hit next. And then I type in the actual name. So this is a name that's going to show up on your home screen, so you can either type in Instagram or whatever you want. So I'll just type in Instagram to keep it simple. And then you hit the actual icon. So you have to save the icon that you want to use in place of the default icon to your photo application because that's the way you're going to get it on the app. So once you hit that, you select it from your photo album, you crop it as necessary, and then you're good to go, and it's on your screen, and it looks sweet. But the caveat here is that you're not natively using an icon pack, so you're actually using the Shortcuts application, which means that when you press the app, it actually goes into the Shortcuts app for like a nanosecond before redirecting to the application that you assign. And that means that it's kind of an annoyance if you do it for every single application, so you're definitely picking form over function, and you have to really, really, really want that aesthetic choice in order to kind of give up some of that functionality and some of that quickness that we've come to know with iPhones. And obviously on Android, you don't have that issue because it allows you to natively use icon packs. So at this point in the video, you may be thinking, Android is so much better than iOS. But I would disagree with you. I don't think that there's necessarily a better option. I think that they're really different. The two major strengths of iOS are consistency and continuity, and handing over full customization to the user weakens both of those main strengths. Apple likes to have control over the way their device looks and the way their device works for two reasons. From the work standpoint, if suddenly an icon pack was crashing all the phones, it would be on Apple to fix it, and the consumers would probably be mad at Apple and not the icon pack that's causing the issue. So Apple kind of avoids that by not allowing icon packs, which feels super vital to the phone, right? Like every single application would be affected if the icon pack had some sort of weird glitch. So Apple totally avoids that. But then the other thing is that Apple likes to keep consistency across all their products, and the iPhone, the way it looks right now, is very recognizable. Like if you took a screenshot from an iPhone, everyone would know that that's an iPhone home screen, but if you took a screenshot from an Android phone, I don't know if people would know, because since there's such a high level of customization, there's also such a low level of continuity and consistency, and there's no like trademark look. Everything looks super different, whether it be a company skin like Samsung skin, or an icon pack, or a launcher. Like there are just huge differences, and I don't think that Apple wants that because it kind of degrades the iPhone brand. So with iOS 14, it's kind of like this odd balancing act where Apple is trying to give the consumer more flexibility and more functionality, while definitely still remaining in control and having that continuity, and I think that they've done a pretty good job. There is definitely room for improvement, but I feel like this is a really solid first attempt. If this video piqued your interest in Android though, because they're all about that customization, you can check out a video I just made on an Android phone, the Pixel 4a right here. But if you're all about Apple all the time, I did just review the iPhone SE, and you can check out that video right here. Thank you so much for watching this video and for your time. I really appreciate you, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one. Bye.